You are listening to Skin, Earth, Vitality, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets modern vitality. If you are seeking to reconnect with your innate vibrancy, you're in the right place. I'm Emily Davis, a seasoned holistic esthetician and herbalist. Join me as we unlock the secrets of ancient skincare practices, explore the beauty of seasonal and nature-based living, herbalism, and true holistic well-being for you and the broader ecosystem. This podcast is brought to you by Stratum Aesthetics. Head to stratumaesthetics.com to find curated skincare, body care, and other wellness products hand-selected by me. Now enjoy the show. Please remember that the information I share in this podcast is based on my professional and personal experience. It is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not individualized skincare advice, nor is it medical advice. I encourage you to take charge of your own health decisions and listen to your body, seeking out the resources and professionals that best support your wellness journey. Welcome back in. Emily here, and this week I want to talk all about how you can make winter actually feel amazing. I've been learning over the last several winter seasons that wintering is all about celebrating this yin season, this time of moving slower, going inward, this time to dream, to make plans. Being in this cocoon phase now prepares you for the rest of the year. Aligning with seasonal living has been such a nourishing balm for my soul. It's felt so nostalgic, like coming home. And if you are someone who struggles in the winter, listen up, because this episode is all about actionable steps to align with the season. These activities and practices can make it feel more enjoyable and are also there to prepare you for the next season. This is what ancient wisdom tells us. Approaches like traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurveda, as well as Western practices like Celtic, Germanic, other European folk medicine practices are all big on changing things like our habits, our eating patterns, our rituals to align with the season that we're currently in order to support our health in this present season. But it's also to resource ourselves so that we are strong and well during the season ahead. I like to think of it kind of like being a farmer in the off season. This is the time to tend to your soil, repair your tools, lay the groundwork for the planting season ahead. A farmer isn't going to wait until spring to prepare. They know that the care and resources that they're pouring into the land right now is determining how abundant and fruitful later seasons are going to be. In this same way, what you're doing for yourself in the winter isn't just about surviving or even feeling good during these colder, quieter months, which it is that, but it's also about resourcing yourself, nourishing your body, recalibrating your habits, and creating rituals that build strength and resilience. Trying to live like it's summer during winter is kind of like planting seeds in the frozen ground, right? Not only will the seeds fail to sprout and that effort is wasted, but you're depleting your reserves and you're leaving yourself vulnerable for the next season. I've experienced this firsthand. Think about it. By the time spring comes, instead of feeling energized and ready to bloom, if you're burning the candle at both ends during the winter, which is so easy to do, speaking from experience, you're going to be worn out and more prone to burnout, more prone to sickness. aligning with the seasons isn't necessarily just about doing less. It's really about just doing what is needed when it's needed to ensure that you're going to have that resilience in the next chapter. And, looking at life through a holistic lens means understanding that each season is connected to the next, right? What we're doing now affects our future self. I love thinking about this. It's one of my doing things for my future self and framing it in this way, whether it be making my bed in the morning for the evening version of myself, or cleaning the kitchen before I go to bed for the morning version of myself, has been the greatest gift that I have given to myself in the last few years. And seasonal living actually supports our biology. Winter is the season for slowing down and restoring energy. And if we're skipping that rest, we're going to risk exhaustion when spring arrives and is asking us to detoxify. Spring, of course, is a time of renewal. We're naturally going to be cleansing and shedding what's no longer needed. But if we don't support this process, we may carry sluggishness or congestion into the summer. So that's why right now what we're doing is even important to our summer self. Summer's sun and activity can help us build warmth and circulation and vitamin D stores, which are, of course, key for immunity in the fall. And then fall prepares us for winter by grounding and fortifying us. And without that period of slowing and gathering, we may feel depleted and vulnerable as colder months set in. So it's just all building on top of each other. And what we're doing now is going to help support us for many months ahead. So in today's episode, I want to focus on how aligning with winter's rhythm is going to help you recharge and build that fortification. So let's dive into some actionable steps you can take to slow down, nourish your body, and set yourself up for vitality in the seasons ahead. The first one is leaning into circadian living. One of the most impactful steps you can take this winter is aligning your lifestyle with your natural circadian rhythms. Our bodies are biologically designed to follow the Earth's 24-hour light-dark cycle. And winter, of course, has shorter days and longer nights, which naturally calls us to rest and restore, slow down. But obviously, modern life is pulling us in the exact opposite direction, leaving us incredibly overstimulated at night, depleted during the day. And this is where circadian rhythm can help. There is an account on Instagram that I absolutely love. Her name is Carrie B Wellness. She shares so much wisdom about this topic. I've learned so much from her. I've taken several of her courses, and it's just been such a game changer. So go give her a follow. There's another account, Sarah Kleiner, and she is actually Carrie's co-host on their podcast, which is a great show. But both of them are just great resources for you to check out if you want to dive deeper. By syncing your lifestyle with light cycles, getting bright, natural light in the morning, dimming lights in the evening, you're going to improve your sleep, but you're also helping with balancing hormones, stabilizing your mood, supporting your nervous system, which is of course, so important during the darker months when seasonal shifts can for sure impact mental health. And one question that I have gotten is, what about those 4:30 sunsets? And this isn't about being perfect or rigid with the timing of light and dark. It's really about intention, doing your best to work with natural rhythms and incorporating common sense where you can without stressing about the parts that feel out of your control, because obviously stress is so much more toxic than a little artificial light here and there. So if the sun sets early, think of it as an invitation to wind down earlier in the evening, dimming the lights, keeping in mind that the LED light bulbs that we use in our homes these days are emitting high levels of artificial blue light. And during the day, the sun is emitting a high ratio of blue light. So when we're getting this high blue light exposure after the sun is supposed to be down, our bodies are receiving messages that they should be acting like it's the middle of the day. Our body is so cool, it's so highly intelligent, and it responds to sun signals. The sun is just like, I can't ever stop talking about the importance of the sun and why we shouldn't fear it. But the sun creates signals in our body, and disrupting these signals disrupts the delicate symphony that's taking place with things like digestion, with sleep-wake cycles, hormones, and it's possible that this is affecting health, including skin, in ways that you didn't even think of. So turning off overhead lights in the evening, maybe just using lamps. And I've actually strategically throughout my house replaced light bulbs in my lamps with blue blocking amber bulbs in order to make sure that everywhere I go, when the sun is down, I'm able to turn on a light and it not be the blue light. Lighting candles, fire with its infrared light that it's emitting is so incredibly important and healthy. And this is actually the best form of light that we can have in the evening. And then also investing in blue light blocking glasses is one of the best things that I have done. I have felt such an incredible change with my mental health, with my sleep cycles, all of the things. We'll link the ones that I really like. I'm not getting an affiliate with this. I'll just link the ones that I use and enjoy in the show notes. Winter is naturally a time for restoration, but overscheduling, staying up late, over-relying on screens, our bodies never get the chance to truly rest. And unfortunately, even though it feels like rest, watching TV until falling asleep on the couch isn't actually giving our body rest. And circadian living helps us to embrace this call for calm and quiet, which is going to reduce stress hormones and strengthen our ability to recharge. And this kind of deep rest is going to build that resilience that we want in our life come spring, when we're going to be naturally detoxifying and starting out with a fresh start. My second idea is reading fiction for fun. This is so simple but powerful for winter to make space for rest, but also pleasure, which we really can't minimize the importance of pleasure, especially during this yin season. One of my favorite ways to do this is reading fiction just for fun. It's not just cozy and relaxing. There's so much science behind why reading can be so restorative. Research shows that reading fiction can reduce stress levels even more than listening to music or going for a walk. Fiction encourages emotional regulation by giving your brain a break from reality and letting you escape into another world. It has shown to increase empathy and cognitive thinking, problem-solving skills. Another beautiful way to align with the rhythm of winter is to embrace outdoor walks. And it may seem counterintuitive to spend time outside in the cold, but walking outside even when it's cold out actually helps you build resilience, not just for winter, but for life. When you're exposing your body to cooler temperatures in a gentle and intentional way, like taking a brisk winter walk, you're actually training your system to better adapt to stress. This is called cold adaptation, and it can improve circulation, boost metabolism, strengthen your immune system. And walking outside also builds mental and emotional resilience. This combination of both movement and fresh air will reduce stress hormones, improve mood, increase focus, all of the things that can feel harder to maintain during the dark, slow months. And on a deeper level, winter walking also reconnects us to the season itself, reminding us that slowing down and embracing the stillness of this time doesn't mean that we have to stop moving entirely. Instead, it's about ways to stay grounded and energized without pushing ourselves out of alignment. I love to take lots of nature pictures while I'm out. So looking around for plants that I think look really beautiful in their slumber state. Another key piece of seasonal living in winter is eating in harmony with the season. And nature truly does provide us exactly what we need when we need it, and winter foods are certainly no exception. Seasonal food is biologically designed to support our bodies during colder months when processes like digestion are slowing down. So complex carbs like squash, root veggies are going to provide slow burning energy, and even cooking methods like roasting and braising add warmth, but make these meals easier to digest for that slower metabolism. This is why raw foods aren't favored during the winter, because it can be really hard on our digestion. Cold weather greens and produce are also super supportive for your immune system. They're rich in antioxidants, which can be really helpful this time of year. Examples of these cold weather veggies include collard greens, Swiss chard, spinach, kale, mustard greens, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cauliflower. These are all things that are going to grow better during the cooler months. My next practice is leaning into the coziness. The Scandinavian approach to winter teaches us to just lean into the season rather than resisting it. Instead of seeing winter as something to just get through, they focus on creating warmth from within. So in places like Sweden and Norway, there's this beautiful focus on creating a sense of warmth and coziness and connection during the darker months. It's about embracing the season, not resisting it, finding little rituals like lighting candles and sipping warm tea and adding layers of comfort to make winter feel nourishing rather than heavy. I just love the winter because I'm a big fan of cozy season, and this Scandinavian way of living has been a huge inspiration for me for this. And finally, I want to talk further about ancient wisdom, because seasonal living isn't new. It's something people have practiced for thousands of years. It's our true state. In traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, winter is seen as this time to conserve energy and nourish the body. And both traditions emphasize the importance of emphasizing with the slower rhythm and focusing on foods, practices that build warmth and balance. So in traditional Chinese medicine, winter is deeply connected to the kidney organ system and the water element. This is a time of deep yin when nature slows down, energy draws inward, and we're called to conserve and nourish our resources. The kidneys in traditional Chinese medicine are seen as the body's reservoir of vital essence, or zhang, which is foundational for our health and our longevity. I talked about this on last week's episode when I discussed keeping your feet warm with warm foot baths and not walking around on cold wood or tile floors with bare feet, because the soles of our feet open to the kidney meridian. Winter is seen as this time to care for this energy by adjusting our lifestyle and our diet with things like warming food, rest, lots of hydration, and of course, mindful practices that can play a role in preserving our kidney energy. One really fascinating recommendation in traditional Chinese medicine is the incorporation of black foods into the winter diet. And to a Western perspective, this might seem unusual, but there is a profound wisdom here. Things like black beans, black sesame seeds, black rice, black mushrooms, jujubes, blackberries are all highly valued for their ability to nourish and tone the kidneys. Some other foods celebrated in TCM for nourishing the kidneys during winter include bone broth or meat stock, eggs, quinoa, seaweed, nuts. Ayurveda views early winter as Vata season. It's cold, it's windy, it's dry, and late winter is going to transition into Kapha season, maybe like mid-February, which is really heavy and damp. And because opposites balance, Ayurveda emphasizes warm, cooked foods, healthy fats like ghee, and hydration through teas and broths. And this is when you want to avoid things that bring about Vata energy, like running around like crazy buying Christmas presents, for example, and getting all worked up about it. Daily rituals like self-massage with warming, grounding oils, or engaging in regular routines like waking up and going to bed at the same time every day can help calm the nervous system and create a sense of stability during this quiet time. Winter is a season to slow down, nourish your body, build that kind of energy that's going to carry you through the months ahead, whether it's syncing with your natural rhythms, embracing seasonal foods, creating rituals that feel cozy and grounding. These practices are all going to help work with the season instead of against it. So I hope that today's episode has given you ideas to make winter feel less like something that you have to endure and more like an opportunity to restore. And if you're curious about how herbs can support you this season, tune in for next week's episode where we're going to dive deeper into herbal allies for winter wellness. Until then, be well. You've been listening to the Skin, Earth, Vitality podcast. If you like what you heard today, consider giving me a 5-star rating. It helps other people just like you to find the show. You can shop products and find all of my offerings on my website, stratumaesthetics.com, and follow me on my social channels at Stratum Aesthetics.